name is Usizwe Wagankosi. It is the 10th candidate conversations that we are having tonight. It is another lovely Friday, and I'm delighted to be here with you, glued on your screens, just to have this conversation with a wonderful guest that we are going to be having tonight. As we've always had, always bring nice guests, and I can promise you that Clifford is one of those that is very insightful. I think you're going to love him. I like him a lot. He's very calm, and I just love the way he sees life and he articulates everything else. Without any further ado, I just want us to welcome with us Clifford Maile. Is a chartered, a qualified chartered accountant, and I believe that we can draw a lot from him. So we are just going to lend an ear so that he can talk to us in an answer. I'm pretty sure that the exams are coming thick and fast. We have got a lot of questions. Let us keep those coming in from 6:30. Clifford Maile will be happy to address those questions. But for now, just to begin with, Clifford Maile, are you here? How are you?
I'm good in yourself this way. How are you?
I am okay. I'm great. In fact, this is my favorite weather. So I think I had a lovely date just because of that.
Okay, no, that's great.
All right. How has been work? Your week, how has it been?
My week, it hasn't been that much busy. So yeah, so it was just work, and yeah, so it wasn't as busy as compared to the previous weeks. So yeah, it was just a normal week for me.
Yeah. I hear auditors are really busy with deadlines and especially month end. Has it not been the same with you this week?
No, I wasn't involved with the PFMA. I think those that were involved with the PFMA, this was a very busy week for them. And then yeah, for me, my July, so it hasn't been that much busy for myself.
All right. No, it's okay. Now let us get busy. Please tell us about yourself. From the personal point of view, tell us who Clifford Maile is.
Okay. I'm Clifford Maile, a newly qualified chartered accountant. I come from the province of Limpopo. Currently, I'm staying in Gauteng. So, if I may give a brief about myself, is that I'm someone who, like assisting other people, because I truly believe that as people, as we assist each other, we tend to grow together, right? So when you give something to someone else, you are also going to receive something in return. It may not be the same thing that you are giving, but at the end of the day, you'll also be receiving. So that's that's how basically I view life. To say, as people, we need to uplift each other. We need to give each other, because if we are giving, and at the end of the day, we will also be receiving. Those that are giving, they'll also be receiving. So that's how I view my life, and then that's how I view life in general.
Yeah, are these principles that you are mentioning, the principle of giving, are you applying them everywhere in your life?
Yes, I definitely do that. I apply these principles, and just to mention something that is quite relatable. So I've been someone who has been studying the performance of the candidates, especially the SAGA candidates. So I've been studying how they are performing, and then from my side, what I have done is that I've been assisting some of the students, to prepare them for the exams, to also to prepare them for the CTA exam, and also to prepare them for the ITC exam, and then also the APC exam. So the decline in the pass rate is something that really concerns myself. and then you also have been contributing to that. And then again, from my village, what we have been doing, because we have realized that there is no lot of information about career guidance and all those things. So we have started a
Yeah,
foundation that is
yeah,
focused on giving, your guidance to some of the students that come from our rural areas. And then we have also been trying to make sure that they don't get left behind, especially with the issues around your fourth industrial revolution, that there your robotics. So we've been having programs that assist the students from, or yeah, just people, young people from our village, to be informed about those kind of information, so that they can just also know what is going around, just so that they can also know about what's going around their lives, and then also what is going around life itself, especially around the issues of fourth industrial revolution and your robotics. So it's just not accounting only that I'm assisting with.
yeah. I do understand that, and I really love this principle of giving, and also going back into to the underprivileged communities and playing a part in it. Just if maybe you can push your screen to the front so that you can see your whole face. Yes,
Okay.
that is perfect. Yes. I just want to understand this. You are saying when we had a conversation during the week that you get fulfilled when you help others.
Yes. Yeah. I think, yeah. So I really mentioned that to say, one of the best benefits that you can get from helping others is that you'll be fulfilled yourself. You'll be inspired yourself to do more, because you know that when you're helping others, there's that motivation. When you see someone else prospering, there's that motivation from yourself to also to say, you know what, I also need to do more, right? So from myself as well, I've also learned a lot from my mentees. My mentees have been like a sort of some inspiration for myself as well. So I receive a lot by just giving. So that's why I really enjoy this thing of assisting other people, because it benefits me as well from a personal perspective. I get to be satisfied by that a moment of giving to someone else, or that moment of inspiring someone else to do better for themselves as well.
Yeah, yeah. Just maybe if we can go back a little back when we are still in
Okay.
high school, what's really influenced you to say, no, I think I want to become a chartered accountant. What is it in high school that influenced you to say
Okay. When I was still in high
so?
school, I think from primary perspective, we didn't have like your accounting subject. So I only got exposed to my accounting subjects when I was in high school, and then I realized that even though like just like any other kid who always wanted to be sort of a doctor or something like that, then I realized that I'm really good with the accounting number. I mean, yeah, the accounting subjects. So then I started having a conversation with my mother to say, I feel like at the end of the day, what I would want to do after my matric, or what I want to pursue after matric as a career, it will be something that has to do with accounting, right? And then she, even at first when that I'm changing from the initial plan that we had, that one day I'll become a doctor, that now it seems like I want to do something else. Then she still supported me to say, you know what, you can still do the accounting numbers. However, given the fact that from our area, it's a very small rural area, so we didn't have like a lot of CAs, or we didn't have someone else to tell us about the chartered accountancy. And then back in those days, you didn't have like your social media, so we didn't have much access to this information around your chartered accountancy. And I think once had someone mention something about chartered accountancy. So even though I didn't follow much through with regard to it, but then I got more exposed to it when I got to university, because during that time, then I was able to have mentors who were busy with the chartered accountancy route, and then also my lectures were also doing like the chartered accountancy route. So then I then started to develop more interest with regard to the chartered accountancy, especially when I was
All right.
at varsity. So at high school, that was not much the case.
Yes. You're mentioning that there was not a lot of CAs in an area that you were growing up. Um, where are you getting this motivation? Where are you getting this inspiration? And do you maybe have something that you want to do to ensure that these other children that are still in the rural areas, they still have people that they can look up to?
Yes, so I think, yeah, so that was the case. We didn't have any CA, or even if we had, we didn't know much about that particular person. So then I saw that again as an opportunity to say, if we are going to start a foundation, then we also need to say much about this chartered accountancy. So, and then again, like right now, in the current moment, you realize that we have social medias where you can always share information about the chartered accountancy. So sometimes I'll share some information about chartered accountancy, and some people will ask me about it. And then again, I also, when I was still at varsity, I always, went back to my high school to talk to some of the people who were doing accounting, to tell them about the chartered accountancy. And then some of them, they became like my mentees, right? So ever since that, so we've been sort of pursuing this chartered accountancy together as a group of, from high school, and then on myself, I'll be at university. So we sort of a group of mentees and mentors who are inspiring each other to ensure that we become, CAs. And then again, another thing that I've been doing is that I've been, sort of tutoring them or preparing them for the exams, because some of them already right now, they are preparing for CTA, and then others are also preparing for ITC, so that's something again that really inspires me, because when I look back in the days, it was not like it was possible to finally have a CA, and then or also to finally have people who are interested in the chartered accountancy profession. So right now, seeing them preparing for the exams, it's really something that really inspires me.
Yeah. At least now we can bring it home and say, you now are a qualified chartered accountant. I'm going to ask
Yeah,
you shortly, what does this designation mean to you? But before I get to that question, you attempt CTA and you are failing it.
yeah.
What was the challenge? What was the problem during that time?
Okay, I think when I first attempted CTA, especially level one, there was a lot of myth around how difficult it is, how manic it's so difficult that you can't even
Oh,
become
is it not
successful at the end
difficult?
of the day. That's what some other people used to say, right? So I didn't have that
Okay.
much of an inspiration. I wasn't really motivated myself even going to write the exam. But when I was writing the exam, I realized that if I prepared myself well, then I could have become successful. So as I was writing the exam, I was identifying all those things that I was having a challenge with. And then coming into my second attempt of CTA level one, then I started with those things that really gave me a struggle, those topics that I was not much comfortable with. Then I started working with them. Then after that, and then I just went back to brush those that I was sort of comfortable with. And then CTA started to become much easier. So then I think I also met Rendani during one of the boot camps from AG. And then so I sort of learned a lot from his discussions. And then from there, just MENEC just became easier. And then when going into my CTA level two, then I never really struggled, because of I learned a lot from my first attempt and even to my second attempt of CTA level one.
Yeah. So you're drawing a lot from your mistakes and you try to fix that so that you do
Yes,
not repeat the same mistakes in the other attempts of your
yes,
CTA. I think that's another
yes,
principle we can use for ITC. I understand though, you failed
mhm,
ITC three times.
yes,
Three times.
yes. So yeah, with regard to ITC, then when I go to ITC, I had to attempt it four times. So yeah, I failed it three times, and in those three times, in two occasions or in two attempts, I think I was sitting on 193 marks, and I just needed like 200 marks. So there was like that 7 marks that
Ooh.
was missing. So yeah, so it was always something that was hitting for me, especially when I saw it for the first time. So when I got it for the second time, then I realized that maybe yes, I have the abilities to to become successful. It shows that I have the ability to become successful. However, maybe if I start listening to my lectures more, maybe if I start paying to attention to what my lectures were saying, or and then start working with the other candidates who were attempting the CTA, right? I mean the ITC. So from there, and then I started to learn a lot, and then going into my fourth attempt, I was so motivated. I was so sure that this time I'm going to become successful, right? So I like you said, I learned from my mistake to say, okay, I think this was my mistake from the previous attempt, and then from there I learned from them. Then going into the fourth attempt, I was motivated enough to know that this time around I'm going to become successful.
Yeah. So your challenges haven't been really other factors outside the academics. Weren't there any challenges when you were working? External challenges that you had, maybe that contributed towards you failing ITC?
I can't really say that there were challenges that were coming from like sort of external challenges, maybe just a bit of a pressure there and there, but the challenges were not necessarily with regard to like the outside forces. So I think mostly it
Is
was
it
just
pressure from
with,
friends or family?
yeah, it is pressure from friends and family, and even from your mentees, because your mentees they want to see you becoming successful. So if you're not becoming successful, then they start to feel like, you know what, maybe this thing is not meant for me. Maybe this thing I shouldn't even go and attempt
Yeah.
it. So is if someone like Clifford that I'm looking up to is trying so hard and is always studying but is still becoming unsuccessful, maybe this is not something. Maybe this thing is not for me. So I started to feel that sort of pressure to say, you know what, I really need to become successful so that those that look up to me, they can see that this thing is possible, so that I can give them that little bit of hope or that little bit of faith. So there was just, yeah, that pressure that was coming from those people that were watching me in my journey.
All right. I'm coming to another question. It is as
Okay.
important as the other ones. Just to let this exactly at 6:30, we will be taking questions from you. You
Okay.
can keep them coming as we talk, and Clifford Maile will be ready to answer those. Coming back to you, Clifford. Um,
Okay.
since now you are qualified chartered accountant, I mean, there is a lot of reputation and other things that comes with this designation we hear about. You are a
Yeah.
qualified chartered accountant now. What value does it have to you? What value did it bring to you now, transitioning from being a non-chartered accountant to now being a qualified chartered accountant? Are you seeing any improvement?
Since I can say I really see a lot of improvement, because last year around this time, when I was preparing for my APC exam, I was unemployed, and that was solely because of the fact that I was not a CA. So I kept like I had my articles, I had everything, I had my ITC. However, I was still able, I was still not able to get a job opportunity. So every time I was applying, people were telling me that they were looking for CAs. And ever since I qualified, you know, I got lucky, I got a job. And then again, I was also able to get an opportunity to be one of the markers at Endonamo. And then another thing is that I then started tutoring some of the students that are preparing for the exams. So that sort of gave me three paying jobs, as compared to a situation where I was unemployed for almost a year, or where I'll be employed on a contract basis. So I think it really added a value to myself, and I really appreciate having the CA designation.
All right. I hear that, Clifford. Um, it's not just creating employment opportunities or being employed. You are
Yeah.
also creating employment opportunities. Does it allow you to create an organization?
Yeah, so I think if again, if you look at what SAICA is trying to achieve, if you look at their exams, I mean, maybe even if you look at the APC support exams from Enduname as well, you realize that what they are trying to achieve is that they want to see the CAs becoming entrepreneurs themselves. And I think from that preparation of the exams, those are some of the things that I've learned. So again, from my tutoring organization that I'm having, I was able to employ someone who was unemployed before, and this particular person was getting employed during a pandemic, during the time that we were dealing with a pandemic. And again, I was also able to give an opportunity to other CAs to be involved with the tutoring. So again, yeah, so it's not again about just employment for yourself. It will also help you with other skills, entrepreneurial skills, and then you're going to use those entrepreneurial skills to create employment for the other people. And it's just so many things that comes with the CA designation. It could be again your marketing skills, because right now we're no longer going to be those CAs that are only concerned with the numbers. So we are the CAs that must become that are going to have many skills, that are going to have your sort of soft skills, that are going to have your marketing skills, that are going to have your HR skills, that are going to have the management skills. So it's not just going to be about the numbers from now, even going forward. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot
I'm
of
understanding that it really builds you.
Yes, no, that's true. It really builds you.
It really builds you to be an all-round professional. All right,
Yes.
Clifford, there's already questions coming through, but I will take those immediately at 6:30. I just want
Okay.
to pass this by. You love consulting to your mother. You love having these engagements with her, especially about your careers.
Yeah.
You think that the support of your family is important in this journey?
Yes, it's quite important, because the journey itself is really demanding, right? So your family needs to understand what is it that you want to achieve. Your family needs to understand that sometimes you're not going to be able to attend some of their events because you are busy preparing for the exams, right? So for myself, I've always been that person
Clifford, um, I think we are at this stage seeming to be losing Clifford, but I'm sure we are getting Clifford just in a moment so that we can continue engaging with her. I see Shilongi is coming in with questions. We will be taking those just in a moment. So just to talk a little more of what, um, if you've missed these parts, Clifford just to apologize on that. I'm taking Longi these questions. Ati, exam time is nearly here, and some of us have not finished theory. Do you advise us to finish theory first and do questions, or just go straight to questions? Just before you answer this question, please share your screen. Shilong is saying exam time is nearly here, and have not finished theory. Do you attend or just go straight to?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question? I couldn't get that. Siri?
Okay, she's saying that the exam time and
You were saying?
Clifford, the
Yeah.
question from Shilongi is, the exam time is coming closer. So, and some of
Okay.
us, specifically Shilongi, is saying we have not finished theory. So, what would you advise? Do we rather go straight to do the questions, or rather finish the theory first and then jump onto the questions?
Okay, I think I got that. Uh, I hope you can hear me. So one of the
Yes.
things that I used to do was that when I was doing ITC, I used to like just get stuck with reading the theory and never got a chance to attempt the question. So basically, when you're doing that, it's like you're preparing for a marathon, but you have a 80-kilometer marathon, but you have never run an 80-kilometer a marathon yourself. So you're going to participate in an 80-kilometer marathon, but you have never practice running an 80-kilometer marathon. So it's better to go and start doing those questions so that you can get yourself into an exam environment, right? So it's better to start doing those simulations. Do not wait until you start experiencing the exam conditions in the exam. Rather experience them now. And then from those questions that will be attending, you'll just identify what are the things that you are struggling with. And if you are with a bit of a theory, and you can go back to that theory and try to revise that theory. Instead of just trying to study everything and then start attending the question during the exam. So it's better to attempt the question now so that when you are writing next week, it won't be the first time where you are sitting or where you are having an exam simulation. So better do the questions now.
All right. And the second question that we have is, some of us are struggling to cope with work, studying, and attending class. There's also tutorials. How did you do it?
Okay, I think that the plan for that, it needs to start from the
Managing all
beginning of
these
the
things?
year, especially in managing all of this. So with regard to in the auditing environment, we know when our deadlines are, and then you also know when you'll be writing your test, right? And then you also know when you'll be attending your sessions or your classes. So what I did is that I decided to say I'm only going to attend the Indonama sessions during the weekend. So I'm not going to attend during the week. So after work, what I'm going to do from 6 until 10, then I'll be studying. So I'll have an agreement with my manager to say at 4:30 or at 5 p.m., I'll be leaving work so that I can go and get time to study, right? So, and then another thing was that I also made sure that I qualified within the first two tests So by that time, when we are going to write the and the fourth test, which is someone our PFMA period, then I won't have a lot of pressure as far as my studies are concerned. So during that work period where there's a lot of work, then my focus will be on work as compared to be on my studies, because as far as my studies are concerned, I will have qualified after my test two. So I'll just be practically and start preparing for the exam. And then another thing is that you need to make sure that you watch the videos. I know that in the NAMU, they also record the videos. So after they've recorded those videos, you need to, or if you maybe have missed the class, you need to make sure that you go back and go through those videos. So that's how you manage time, and that needs to come from the beginning of the year. Your planning for the entire year needs to come from the beginning of the year.
Shilongi, you heard it. Planning, planning, planning is the way to go. I'm gonna take a question from Peggy Rakau, but I just want to squeeze this this one in. Just before the exams and during the exam, how do you prepare for that? How do you advise somebody that is coming to write an exam? How do you prepare for that? And even when you're sitting in an exam room, whether it be your personal computer, I think it's going to be different. We'll wait to see. But how do you prepare for such an exam?
Okay, as far as exam is concerned, exam comes with a lot of pressure. You're going to feel a pressure. It's understandable to be nervous, right? So don't feel like it's unique to you. It's something that is happening to everyone, right? So one, calm down. So you always need to teach yourself that you must calm down, because at the end of the day, this is just the exam, and then you have a chance to become successful, right? So if you fail to calm down, then you're going to end up not becoming successful. And then now the reason won't be that you're not technically prepared. The reason is that you were not able to handle yourself, right? So if the ability to work under pressure, or the ability to handle pressure, is quite important in this journey. It doesn't only happen in the exam, it also happens in your work environment where you get in so much pressure, right? So however, the way that you respond to that pressure is what is important. So just learn to handle pressure quite well.
Oh, all right. No, it's okay. There's just another one that is coming from Peggy Rakau. Yeah, she says, when we are doing the tutorials, there's a lot of tutorials and assessments that they attempt, even the questions. She says, when now you get your results and they are the same as your shoe size percentage, how did you come out from that? What did you tell yourself that you can do it in your final exams? Because now we are seeing percent and the confidence going to your exam. How did you come up from that?
Okay, I personally, I had a lot of those moments, especially with my time in Dunamo, those attempts, those tutorial attempts. So where I would get like such low marks. I in my life, I got so many low marks, right? So then, however, again, how you respond to those low marks is what matters. How you identify what is it that led to those low marks? What is it that led to you getting that 5%, that led to you getting that 15% or that 10%, right? So the way that you're going to respond and the way that you are going to get the same marks is quite important. And what I learned is that some of these exams, they are extremely difficult, especially those that are intended to prepare you for the exams. So they're extremely difficult because the whole intention is to get the best out of you, so that when you get to the exam, you be prepared for the exam you realize that it's not as difficult as compared to the preparatory exams or the preparatory papers that I was writing before the exam, right? So just learn from those questions. Just keep on asking yourself, what led to me getting this 15%? What led to me getting this 30%? And then if you got that 30%, ask yourself, why did I get the 30%? Why did I not get the 17% that I missed out on? And then from your reason from getting the 30%, then now start working into getting to the other percentage that are on the 70%, right? Or the other marks that are on the 70%. And sometimes it could be that you are just missing out on your communication marks, right? Or your principal marks, right? So those are the important marks that we need to learn how to obtain those easy principal marks. So the way that you respond again is quite important to the disappointment of the results.
All right. I'm just going to be asking you this last question. I think we are done with the questions from the candidates. Just this one question from me.
Okay.
What is it that stood out from you at Endunamo? Just one thing that stood out for you at Endunamo that you loved. And yeah, what is it?
Okay, I think first during my time at Indunamo, what was happening was that every time I was having a particular question, I could always have an access to Rendana. I could always send a message to Rendani, and he will always respond to that. And then another thing is that the material that they are using at Endunamo, they are quite important. The materials are quite informative. And every time when I look at the CTA or the ITC or the APC papers, I realize that these things have been taught to me at Endunamo. Maybe I was not paying attention. Maybe, so maybe it could be that you were not paying attention. So however, those materials that they are using, all of those information that they are sharing with you, all the preparatory exams that they are sharing with you, at the end of the day, they are going to contribute to you becoming a successful with your APC, ITC, and your CTA. Even when I was writing my APC, I still used the materials that I used for my CTA from Endunamo, and they contributed to my success at the end of the day. So the materials, they really stand out. And right now, because I'm involved with the marking, I can see that they have improved quite a lot, especially with the feedback that they are giving to the students, right? So that thing, what is it that I'm struggling for you to, or it saves you time where you need to go back and try to identify what is it that you're struggling with, because the markers already, they're giving you that feedback to say, this is what you're struggling with, you just need to go back and start working on it. So the quality of materials, the quality of the resources that they use in Dinamo, it really stands out for me.
All right. And thank you, Clifford. I think we are just wrapping up just now, but I cannot leave this outside this session. You are saying that
Okay.
this is your opportunity to make a change. You will inspire your friends, families, and the community you come from to start believing in themselves. These are your words, Clifford. Just in closing, what are the final remarks do you want to share with the candidates?
Yes, so this was coming again from the reaction that I received after becoming a successful, right, with my CA journey. So the way that my community and even my family, they were so excited for me. I felt like they were even more excited than myself, right? So again, they felt inspired. They felt like they can achieve anything in life, right? So from my side, I also felt inspired in the sense that given the fact that where I was last year when I was unemployed and I was still able to achieve the success in my APC, right? So that means that under any circumstances, under in a situation which currently most of the students, most of the candidates, they are facing, especially with the pandemic that is affecting the world, right? So some of the students, they may have lost their jobs, some they may have lost their families, right? So however, they still need to
We seem to be losing Clifford once again. Clifford, are you still here? All right. No, it's okay. I think we will be coming towards the end of our session for today. Yeah, technology is not favoring us today, and I'd really love to apologize on that. We're just going to have more quality as we go on. I enjoyed having Clifford around, and I think you got more information from him, inspiration, and also exam tips. I hope that we jotted down some of these things going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure, as it always is, to be sitting here with you. It's lovely. I'm still looking forward to the one that is coming in future. Let's keep our eyes and ears to what is coming, and trust you me, the guest that is coming next, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night.